So we are looking at a data set. Are we all here? So the data set is having this. So this is the question that was set out. I want us to follow it one after the other. And these questions was captured using a mobile data collection. So the mobile data collection, and after that, this was the result that was downloaded from the mobile data collection and is in the form of Excel. So this is the way your data set many times will come out. So when you see this kind of data, what we're the thing is, we're now going to look at, this is just your Excel. Let us start with your Excel. This is your Excel. I know so many times, some of us, we have seen this, and some of us are even very good with this Excel. So in Excel, we need to understand that we have the row and we have the column. And each of the intercept of the row and the column make what we call a cell. A cell. So this is a cell. Each of this is a cell. Each of these is a cell. And these cells are very sensitive. They are very sensitive in the form of understanding a figure from a text, from a decimal numbers, and from any special letters. So the cells are so sensitive to understand what type of data you have in each of it. And we can also make reference to all these cells by calling them using what we call Excel functions. So understanding Excel function is the key way to say, yes, I can use Excel. If you are with me, can you say yes? You understand what I'm saying? Good. Hello? Am I the only one here? Good. Hello?
We are with you. Go ahead, sir.
Please, why are you the only one answering? Can others not speak also?
Okay, so we muted everybody because some persons have background noise, which is distorting will be distorting
Okay, you
the
didn't
meeting.
tell me, so I will know what.
Oh, sorry for that. Sorry for that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will know. Okay, let me just, okay, let's continue. So, fine. So each of this is having so sensitive to understand what kind of data do you have. So for we want to start this from a scratch. And I know after this class, you will understand one or two things. So before, we are going to be moving from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. We are not going to jump steps. And if you have any question, you can just drop it on the comment section of what you don't understand, and we'll put clarification to that. So fine, this is having sensitive way of understanding what kind of figures you have there. So let me put example. This is 200. This is male. This is female. This is 1.5. And this is like, let's say this is 150. So Excel understand that this is a figure, this is a text, this is a text, this is what? A decimal point, and this is also a what? A figure. How do you know that this is true? Then you making use of your function, you will understand what this is. Now, let me just put this. When there's a function in Excel called text. So when I say text and put this number, it will tell you that this is not true. So from here, Excel is telling you that this is not a text. Okay, now let me do it again. Now, when you look put is here, you see there's a functions you see on this. So you can understand that this is having different function sensitivity. Now let's try and do something. Let us add this and this together. Let's add this and this together. What do you have? You have value. So what it's trying to tell us here is that you have what you added together is a figure and a text. So you can't add it together because you are not having figures all through. You're having a text there. So what I'm trying to say is this, that Excel understand every figure, every text you put here as a text, and also understand it as a figure. So let's just we have a class, and this is 20, this is 5, this is. So we have this class, and we have these numbers. We can put it age. We can say age in a class. Age in a class. So mean that we have in a class, and this is different kind of age you have in this class. So we can add this together, because when you have this, Excel already understand that you have all this as a what? As a figure. You can add it together one after the other. You can say you have this. So at this point, where your 23 is called A2. So if you understand this simple call out in Excel, then you will know how to use your functions. When you go down, that we call it, that is A3. When you move down, that is A4. When you move to the next one, that is A5. When you move to the next one, that is A6. So when you add this cell together, Excel will pick these numbers as the format of the name of the cell. So when you click this, you look at this part that is telling us that this is what? F3. I know some of us know this, but I also know that some does not. So that's what I want to carry everyone along. So that this is A2, this is A3, this is A4, this is A5, and this is A6. So this is the way we make use of figure out what data you put in Excel. So when you want to add this together, the simple way is to add this. You can just call it out and say A2 plus A3. When you press enter, it will tell you that the addition of this is 35. This is just the foundational way of how to use Excel, because some people will say, I don't know how to use Excel. How do we make use of that? If you are good, can you say good? If you are having a question, can you say you are fine? So we'll go back to our cleaning of data. If you are fine, can you say good? Can you just pump out? Good, good. No one is writing on the comment section. Can you just have something? Say good to go. So we can move to our data cleaning. Good to go, good to go. Fine. So let's move on to our data cleaning. Let's move on to our data cleaning. So how do you clean your data set? How do you clean your data set? So look at this data now. We are going to start from this. Study cluster. I want you to pay attention because I'll be dropping assignment for everyone. So look at the study cluster. Your study cluster is telling us the location of your studies. So what you need to do is to put a filter on this first line, because the first line represents the questions in your questionnaire. So what I don't want to fill this class with stories. So that's why I want to carry along with what we are saying. Please pay attention. This class will make you a master after this class. You can be able to analyze any question. Now, I want us to quickly look at the way the question look at. This is a questionnaire. I just did it last month. Okay, this question was set out to pick up people's opinion about the quick service restaurant in Nigeria. So we have respondents' names, we have the phone number, we have full address. I'll just run down that questionnaire structure. We have interviewer name, we have the cluster, study cluster. So the study cluster have like 5 sections. We have Lekki Phase 1, Victoria Island, Ikeja, Surulere, and Yaba. So we have the age group, we have the socio-economic class, we have the gender, we have the quality check, we have the marital status, we have the study clusters. So the study clusters is the same. We have the literacy, we have the employment status, we have the monthly income. So this in the box is called what we have the socio-economic class. When you are analyzing your question, you analyze this question using these things in the box. When you have that, what we use to analyze your question. You will use it to analyze a question as a cross tabulation. Now, let me just show you the last result of the way the question came out. I want us to look at. So the analysis, this is the analysis of that question. This is the way the question was analyzed to the client. So you see, we have 400 questions across. We have the location, we have the gender, we have socioeconomic class, and the age. So this is the way to do your analysis to make sure that you are speaking to a very understanding business model, because the person wants to know what the percentage of locations we have per questions. In literacy, how many people answered it, how many people gender pick it. So this is the frequency analysis. Great. So let's go back to that, our structure. So we are starting from the study. So our studies cluster. So the first thing you need to do is to ask yourself, how many people are here? So the first thing you do is to move down. When you move down, you look at your count in Excel. You'll see this place is showing us 400. So remember, you will not pick the first line. You are starting from the second line. Then you press your Control Shift arrow down. You take it to the last row. Control Shift arrow down. Take it to the last row. If you have done that, can you pump up? If you have done that, can you pump up? Control Shift arrow down will take you to the last row. Okay, so let's move on. So you know that you have 400 questions here. Now you want to look at these questions to know what numbers do you have. So when you click on this, we have different ways of putting your filter. You can just come to this place. When you come to the filter and sort, you see your filter here. Can I go again? Go to home. The first thing, you just click on this row. You see already on in there. Then you go to sort and filter. Sort and filter and click it. You see filter. When you see filter, you click on it. You see the signs will show on your Excel. If you have done that, can you pump up? If you have done that, can you pump up as we move on? So great. When you have done this, what you want to do here is data cleaning. Data cleaning. So you start one after the other. You start from your study cluster. When you click this, you will see that everything you have here, you have Ikeja, you have Lekki, phase 1, you have Surulere, you have Victoria Island, and you have Yaba. Sometime, because this question was pre-coded, if this question was not pre-coded, you might see something that is wrong here. Because if it's not pre-coded, maybe it's an open-ended question, there will be an issue because the way I will type my Ikeja will be different from the way you will type your Ikeja. The way I will type my Yaba, I might start with a small letter. Someone else might decide to start with what? A capital letter. So, but this question was pre-coded. So that is why we have a clean data. But now let me do something. Let's do something and just see what will happen. So I've done something here. Now let's go back and filter that. You will see that what we have here is 3 ABA. In these 3 ABA, that means that something is wrong. So in display, for this, you find out that what you need to do is to uncheck all and pick only that. You see that this is line 23. So it's 3 ABA. So you now look at your study cluster. Which of them look like this? Don't forget we have Yaba. So eventually, the person that entered this data wanted to write Yaba. So what you need to do is to just clean this and put your Y. So eventually, when you go back there, you will not see something like that anymore. So with this, you know that you have done cleaning this data set for study cluster. So study cluster is clean. Then you go back to your gender and check it. You have female and male. You have a clean data. So these are the ways to look at your data and see, even in your Power BI, you also see this there. In your R Studio, you see this there. Before you analyze, the first thing you look at is your data set. Is it clean? Then to social economic class, you click it down, you find out you have B, C1, C2, DE. So it's clean. So I will giving us another data set, and you want to find out whether this data set is clean or not. So with a quick thing, you can also do something. Know that you have Yaba, and I'll do it now. You can use your function to find out something. So if this is Yaba, you can copy this Yaba down and put it here, and copy Victoria Island, put it here, copy Surulere, put it here. Which other we have? Ikeja. When you copy Ikeja and put it here, what else? We have Lekki, copy Lekki and put it here. We only have 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you with me? So I want us to go together so that you will not ask too much questions. So from here, using Excel, you can actually analyze this and find out how many do we have here? Already, you know that 400 questionnaire was given out. But you can do a quick analysis using your Excel function in this place. You have Yaba, you have, and we have Sulere, we have Eja, we have phase one, Lekki phase one. Don't forget what I said in my presentation. Consistency of this format is very important. So we have kept this format and we found out that we have a consistent Yaba, we have a consistent Victoria Island. So the fourth thing, because I'm going to give you assignment on this, I want to know how many Yaba do I have on this row. That's the first thing I want to find out. Let me find out. So what I'm going to use is just a quick one. I can say count if. So when you put count, you see count if. Count if, sorry, this is count if. So my count if is asking me which range. So I'm picking this range. So when I pick this, I will just click on my shift arrow up. I want to pick all this. I want to pick all this. So I'm going up. Just go up with me. So you can pick up to your cluster, study cluster, and you can stop here. So put your comma. So don't forget count if. So the fourth thing you put there is range. You see range. And it's asking me the criteria. What do I want to look at? What do I want to look at? So we go back to this. The first thing we want to look at is Yaba. So I click on this. Don't forget, I am not writing the name of what I have in the cell. I said already that cell in Excel have the sensitivity to understand what you have inside that cell. So I have written a function now. I ask Excel to help me count in that row. Which one is Yaba? How many Yaba do I have in that same line in my study cluster? So this is the function you use, count if. So when I click my enter, it's telling me down that what I have in this row is 50 Yaba. That means that only 50 persons answer these questions in Yaba. And you might doubt this. Now, let's believe that is a lie. So what we do is go back, a check, click on this, uncheck, select all, and click only Yaba. When you click only Yaba, check how many do you have. Your control shift arrow down. What do you have there? You come to this side. Just look at my cursor. You see count. The count is 50. The count is 50. If you are with me, can you just show thumb up? Great, 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 great. The next one.
Mr. Henry, your mic is muted, please.
Okay, can you hear me now? Great. I said the next one I want to have is a class assignment, a class work, sorry. Who can tell me just how many Victoria land do we have?
Loud and clear, go on.
How many Victoria land do we have here? Do you have the first thing? Do you have the data sets? Mr. Sylvester, please, do they all have the data set now?
I'll check. I believe it's been dropped on the WhatsApp group. I mean, on this platform. I'll confirm it now.
It's confirmed. I want
Just
to give a
twice.
class a class work. Okay, let me do this next one. Okay, okay, all right, noted.
We will share the data sets right away via an email to everybody.
Okay, 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 okay. Fine. Thank you so much. So we can continue with that. So we are able to do this. So the first thing is that we understand that the data is clean for study cluster. The study cluster will have a clean data. So now we can actually find out that we have 50 data set Java in this line. So we can also use this to find out for Victoria Island. So now the first thing we do is just to make this very easy. So A1 to A40 is picking the line where you will have your data set. So what we need to do is to close this. So we can close it up with what we call our dollar sign. So I'm doing it one after the other. There's another way to do it faster, but I'm taking it one after the other. So how do we close this? So we put dollar sign, put the dollar sign before A and put before the dollar sign after A. So the $4 sign is for A. The next dollar sign is for 2. So that is, we are closing that command. So we do it for the next one also. This also, we put the dollar sign here. So what is the meaning of this dollar sign? That means that when I copy this to the next cell, my command A2 to A410 will remain the same. That's the meaning of putting the dollar sign into this. So, but I did put dollar sign to A40, A408, which represents Yaba, where Yaba is. So when you click this, you see the red is showing Yaba, that blue is showing that. So let's just copy this for easy. When you copy this and put here, eventually you have done justice to that. Okay, because the A2 and A401 is still the same. So what changes is that there's a command that Excel move to the next one. That means because you have done for Yaba, you pick the next one, which is A409. So it's telling us now that for Victoria Island, only 120 persons answered this question from Victoria Island. So we can also copy this to the next one. And you see this also. This is for Sululere. So it means that 50 persons answer this question. 51 persons that answer this question is from Sululere. You pick this to the next one, you have 59. So what's changed now is 59 people answer this question from Ikeja. Then down to the next one. So the next one is 120. So when you want to, because actually we know we have the total 400 question that was disseminated out. So let's find out whether we have the complete question answered by the people. So what command we use here, you just find out the sum for this. See, I'm picking the cell. That is, you are picking B408 to B412. So you are telling Excel to sum these numbers together. So when you are using Excel, you don't even need calculator. What you need to just understand is your functions. So don't forget, what we are doing is data cleaning. We are here to analyze, just want to understand the kind of data you are before you move into data cleaning. So what I'm doing now is more than just looking at the data itself, but understanding what kind of data you received. So data cleaning. So when you click this, you have 400. So that's to tell you that we have what? Complete 400 questions of the study center. So that means that this is complete already. It's complete already. So you can also you can do a normal analysis from this, but from here you have your figures complete for study center, studies cluster already. So we can also do this for other lines, like for gender. We can also look at this and find out how many male do we have, what's the percentage. Okay, now from this we can also look at the percentage. What percentage do we have here? So when I put my percentage, I put this, and I pick the total. I click this. So what I've done here is to divide the numbers of people that answer this question from Yaba. We divide it by the total number of people we have that answer that question as a whole. So when you click this, you have this. So it's giving us 0.125. But don't forget to want to find the percentage. When you click this, just go back and click this percentage sign, or you use Control Shift percentage, which is on your keyboard. Number 5, you see it there. So when you click this, it's telling us that this is what? 13%. So when this is 13%, you can also make, because the total is all the same. What you need to do, just in order to make this very easy, when you drag it down, you can put $sign in this one, put $sign here, press equals to. So when I drag this down, I will have the percentage. So also, you can also copy this and put here. So this is 100. So you will find out that in this place, what can you say here? What can someone interpret this for us? Okay. Okay, we said you cannot use the comment section. So in this place, we can say that 13% of the people answered this question from Yaba, why 30% answer this question from Victoria Island, why 13% answer this question from Sulere, and also Ikeja is having 15% and Lekki is having 30%. So you are going to give an insight from here. So eventually we can also do your formatting from here. When you align this or as a whole and come to this conditional formatting, click it, click your color scale, or you click your bars, data bar, and pick any of this. So you see that you have done something. So from here, you have done a simple visualization. So when I copy this, I can place this as what? As a picture and send to you. So look at this. You can enlarge it. So you can just use this to just give a snapshot of your analysis. And you can see that from here, you can just write a simple interpretation and say that the highest bar we have here is Victoria Island and Lekki. If you are with me, can I see your pump up? If what I'm saying is good. Great. So I will do for female. I will also do. So please accept our sincere apology. We have sent in the question via your data set via your mail. So you can actually check your mail. Check your mail to download the data set. Can we give you 1 minute to do that? 2 minutes? Mr. Sylvester, can we just give you 2 minutes to do that?
Yes, please. You can go ahead with it.
Okay, please. We are giving you 2 minutes to quickly download your data set from your mail as we all be in the same page. Thank you, Miss Faith. Thank you for
Mr.
giving us that.
Emmanuel Osamu Diame, if you can hear me, try to unmute your mic if you can. All right, go ahead, Mr. Emmanuel.
Mr. Emmanuel want to speak?
Yeah, but okay, maybe still because of the glitches that we are having. Like you said, we are the technical team
No,
is
I
going.
don't have any question yet. I don't have any question.
I see you raising up your hands. That's why.
It was a mistake. Sorry, it was a mistake. Sorry.
All right.
You are still raising your hand, actually. You are still raising. Okay.
It's an old hand. It's an old hand.
It's all right. Thank you. So let's just move on. So this is the way we can simply analyze this question. So don't forget, the fourth thing is this. The question number one has to be clean. You filter it out and find out that what you have actually is what you're supposed to have. Let me just use that word. What you have in your data set is what you're supposed to have. You don't present a data set and you start telling them you don't know. This question, this answer might take your job from you the next time. So what you're supposed to have in your data set, if it's what you have, then that means that your data set is clean. Don't guess and don't assume. So from here, because eventually you are telling the person or telling the customer or telling your company that from the data we have, the highest percentage of our responded is coming from Victoria Island and Lekki. What you are telling them is that next time when we want to give out this questionnaire, we need to provide more questionnaire to this environment. Don't forget, the questionnaire was coming in from a QSR, a quick service restaurant. That eventually tells us that people staying in VI and Lekki almost or severally or are used to visiting quick service restaurants. This simple analysis can give us different meaning. It's also telling us that people in this environment visit quick service restaurant more. Therefore, when we want to have a new store, we should focus on this environment. Actually, from the study from settlement analysis in Lagos, these people are meant or supposed to, they are called the rich boys and rich guys, which is also supporting the analysis to see having this understanding tells us where to have our store. Last 2 years, Burger King, sorry to call the name, we opened up several stores, like 7 stores across Nigeria. And this was not just done by looking at the site and say, oh, this is a nice site, this is a nice building. It is from this simple study we are able to conclude that we can open a particular store in this city, in this environment, using this simple analysis. So when you are cleaning your data set, have it in mind that you want to give a business a decision that will last forever. Okay, fine. That is done. Now let's quickly do another one. So with the second one, we have gender. Don't forget, I'm going to send my assignment. So you have to go with me. It might not be as easy as I'm doing it. So go out and make sure you are taking notes. And also know how to solve your own problem. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm going to do something here. So let's look at this. We have gender. And normally, we know, don't let us look at another method of accepting gender now, male and female. Let's stay with that. So when you look at this data, and you want to look at this data and see, is this data clean? So when you look at this data, what can you see here? We are having the unclean data here. So the first thing you need to do is to clean up this data. Because you can't tell me, or you can't analyze this data set and tell us that BDDN is a gender. BSJD, JDJ is a gender. So I said the other time, because this question was pre-coded, that was why we have a clean data. Sometimes it can be an open-ended questions. So what we need to do here to clean up this data is to uncheck select all. What you need to do, just pick this, pick the unclean data. When you pick this, you look at this. So eventually, you might not, two conditions, you might not be able to delete the response. You might not be able to delete the response, because when you delete it, you will have less than 400. And you can't call the client and tell them you have deleted their question. Because I said for 80, 90, 332, 333, and 334, all this line represents opinion of a respondent. So what you need to do is, when you have number one thing is, if you actually have the knowledge of numbers of mail you want to receive and number of female you want to receive, you will not know which one is missing and which one is remaining. From there, you will know which one this is standing for. Okay? Now, if you look at this, let's check all and go back to our quick check. Here, this is male and this is female. The first thing is to look at how many male do we have on this line. Don't forget, you cannot just start counting 1, 2, 3, 4. You will use your count if. Don't forget what we use. So this is what you will use when I give you this. Count if. When you put count, you will see count. The first count is count the numbers of cells in a range that contain numbers. The next one is count the numbers of cells in a range that are not empty. The next one is count blank. That means count the numbers of the empty cells in a specific range of cells. The count if is count the numbers of cells within a range that meet a given condition. So we want to count based on a given condition. And the next one is count ifs. That means when you have more than one condition and you want to use these conditions to certify your counting. So that is when we make use of count ifs. That means you have more than. So now we are making use of count if. Then one thing about Excel is very simple. Excel will instruct you what to do. So after you pick that, you will see range. It's telling us that pick your range where your data set is. Pick your range where your data set is. So you start from here. When you pick this, press your shift arrow up to pick all the remaining data. So I'm picking from that last page. Okay. Oh, don't forget, sorry. We have filter here. So we unfilter this. So let's go back. so that we have a complete data set. Okay, let's go back. Don't forget what we are using. We are using count if. Count if. Click on your count if. So you need your range. Your range, you pick here, shift arrow up to pick your range where your data set is. We are going go up, up till you get to the last one. So we are not picking the first line because that is the air. What we have the name of the air what of our data set. So we put comma. So after you have picked the range, the next thing you pick is you put comma. The next thing is the criteria. That means out of this cell, which one do you want to use as the criteria? That is, which one do you want to pick? Don't forget the first one is what? The first one is male. So you just click on the cell where you have the male. And the cell where we have our male is A415. A415. So somebody might say, okay, what about if I type the letter? You can type the letter, but when you want to type the letter, you have to put this there. I'll type it now, male, then you close it. That is when Excel will understand what you are saying. So when you type a text in Excel, you have to put this. So when I press enter, you will pick it. But let me try and remove that. You will see that it will understand what we are saying. It will tell you error. So it will put 0. So, but just to be on the safer side, just go pick where you have your mail. Pick the cell. That means you pick A415 and click enter. When it's telling us enter is this, the first thing is that you are not, something happened here where it's picking 0. Because when you go back to this, the format of this is not the same thing as format of this. Because you type in this letter here. So now let me just go back and copy this mail and copy it here. When you copy this female and copy it here, so that means Excel is sensitive to understand format. So what is it saying here? That we have 227 mail that answered that question. So don't forget what we did when we want to do our study cluster. So this is our study cluster. Study cluster. And this is our agenda. This is our agenda. Okay, we are on agenda now. So next is you have done this, but you cannot be writing this function many times. So what we did, what we did was to close where we are picking the data set from. We did something. We put on this our our dollar sign. So if we want to do that, I can just do it at once. How do I press my function F4? Function F4. So you can also remove that. With function, when you press your function F4, you can put that. You will enclose that. That means that when you are dragging your cell to the next line, it's not changing what? Where your data is. So I press equals what? My enter. So when I want to do for this, don't forget for A415, we don't end with what is open. So when you move to the next line, that will pick the note, what is responsible. Now it's picking what's responsible, keeping your data set where you pick your data set, what? Constant. Look at it. When we pick our data set, what is constant? But here we picked A415, where here we picked A416. So eventually, what we are saying here is that the numbers of people actually that answer this question for male is more than female. Why? Because we can portray the fact to see that many guys that are not married, they eat out. Or most times they take their girlfriends out. Some girls will decide to cook. Some will have food in the house, but we have some guys in Lagos, they're having their life, they don't even go to their kitchen. So we can also look at what's the sum of this. We calculate it, we have, don't forget, we have 396. Don't forget, what we're supposed to have should be 400. But what we have here is 396. So there's an issue. What is that issue? So subtract 400 from this. So that means that we have this data set missing. So this data set is missing. So that means we have missing data. So that means we have missing data. So where is this missing data coming from? So when you analyze this gender, eventually there are going to be an issue. So that is when you will now come back to this to clean this. When we clean this, we will look at this, and this should not, and this should not be part of gender. So when you count it, how many do you have? We have 4. See that actually we are having 4 missing data, and we eventually have 4 entered numbers of figures that's not text, that is not supposed to be. Okay, so if this is supposed to be male, and this one is also male, and this one is female, and this one is female, do you see that something is changing? Let me go back. Let me start again. I want us to focus on the gender. When you start changing this, these numbers will start changing. 227 for male, 169 for female. So when you change this to male, this will change to 228. Change it to male, you see that it changed. So eventually, as you are cleaning it up, there's going to be a change of numbers, because eventually it's counting that, because you have made sure that it's speaking from that same line. And if this one is female, that's changed to 170. And if this one is female too, that changed to 171. So now we have for male 229, for female we have 171. In total we have 400. Now we don't have any missing data, so our missing data now is 0. So then we are good with our agenda. Let's quickly analyze. So when you want to analyze, when you want to start any function, don't forget you always start with equals to. So equals to the divide, this divided by the total, which is 400. Press your equals to, you have 0.5725. Don't forget, we want to make use of the 400, which is the name of the cell where the 400 is B417. So we can enclose that. Sorry, we enclose it. We enclose it. So when we drag that down, it won't change. When we drag this down, the 400 still remain the same. So we just click this percentage. You have 57% for male. Female is 43%. So now when you do this, this is equals to sum. You can bring it here. It's going to be 1 because it was in percentage. When you press this percentage, it will be 100. So also let's do our formatting. So we have done cleaning. We are doing a simple analysis and formatting. So formatting, you go to conditional formatting, press it down, click on your data bar, any of the color you can make use of. You can make use of this, 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 can make use of this. So From here, you can see, even the blind can see this. So from here, you can also copy this and paste as your what? As a picture. So eventually you can just do a quick analysis of this. So from here, we can tell our company that for ESR, we have the highest number of visits, people patronizing us by gender to be 75% male, which we can defend it and say that because many females might not have the time to go to market to cook. So when we are having a bonus, we are having something to do, we should be able to drag these people to our restaurant. We should be able to have a tips or something that will bring them back, because then our highest customer is coming from them. If you want to do any promo, we should make sure that we engage them, because our highest percentage of customer is coming from the male. If you are with me, can you just thumb up? I will not be fast. I will be so slow, quiet, and we'll get it. Okay? Okay, the next one is this. Let's go to the next one. So let's go to the next one. So we are done with the study cluster and we are done with the gender. So we want to look at our socio-economic class. Let me go back. What we are looking at today is the introduction to data analysis using Excel, the cleaning of the data set, the formatting of the data set, and how to make sure that what we want to analyze is correct. This is the fundamental step when analyzing your data. Because when you analyze the data, your variables must be the one that you're supposed to have. I'm saying this because if what you're supposed to have in your data set is not what you have, your data analysis and your interpretation will not amount to anything. So the first thing is to look at the data set, that what the variables you have, are they the one we're supposed to have? That is what we have justified with the study cluster and the mail. So I will be so slow for this. So we want to also do the same for social economic class. For social economic class, we can just look at this. We have series, we have C1, C2, we have B, and we have DE. When we check this filter, you will see that what we have is just 4 variables. We have B, we have C1, we have C2, and we have DE. So then, if these are the things we're supposed to have, that means that our data set is clean. But if this is not what we're supposed to have, that means our data set is not clean. No matter the correct, we don't say a data set is not clean because the variable is correct by spelling. No. Even if the variable is correct by spelling, if the variable is not what we're supposed to have, that means that the variable is the data set is not clean. What do I mean by this? If in this place where I have this B, what is here is F. Yes, we all know that F is also an alphabet, sorry. But F is not a class. So when you go down, you see F. F is not a class in our social economic class. So that means that this F is not making our data to be clean. we are going to be eventually look at what the S is standing for. So eventually, when you look at the socio-economic class, you find out that our data is not clean. So you filter it. Hello?
Can you hear me? Kindly unmute your mic. Thank you.
Oh, sorry for that. Okay. So the data set you have here should be the one you're supposed to have. So when you look at data sets, something is wrong with this data set. So don't be in a haste to quickly analyze. The cleaning process is also part of the analysis process. Here we have B, we have C1, we have C2, we have DE. So this F, there is nothing like F in socio-economic classification. So what you need to find out something is wrong with this. So you uncheck out and pick this alone. So what you need to do is to look at what is this standing for. So if it's this standing for B, so that means that you have done justice to this. So when you go back to this selection, to your filter, you find out that you can no more see F there. When you select all, so all will show. So from here, you want to quickly look at a very simple analysis to find out what you have. Then don't forget the what you have. You copy this. This is the what? The social economic class. This economic class. So is the social economic class. So we have the first one. You please pick your seat. Okay, I don't want to be fast. Pick your C2. Then the last one is your DE. The frequency. Okay, we didn't put frequency here. Okay, you can call it the count, you can call it frequency. This is the frequency. So this is how you're going to do the assignment. Now, we want to count how many B do we have here in where this line, where we have the socio-economic class. Socio-economic class. How many B do we have? So we cannot just be counting that. Well, how we need to do that is to make use of the function. When you want to start any function, I said you start with equals to. Then you make use of count if. Count if. Click on the count if. The first thing we ask you is the range. What is the range? It's asking us why do you want to pick this from? So you start from here, you pick this, and you press your shift arrow up to pick where the range of the data set is. Okay, arrow up. Just take your time. Let's just say we are learning, we are a slow learner. Then you put your comma. Then it's asking us what is the criteria, meaning that what do you want to pick? I said that count if is when you want to count with a what? Looking at a condition. So you want to count that row, count only when you have B. So we have all B here, and B is where A421. You click on this. A421, then you close the bracket. So what you have done here is you want Excel to count that cell C2 to C401 and count only that the number is 87. That's to show that the numbers of B you have there is 87. And I said, to make our work easier, we know since we are making use of the same where the cell is, range is, make use of the same range, we can close this range using a dollar sign. So how do you do that? When you highlight this C2 to C410, you press your function F4. Your function F4 will close this range for us. And you click enter. That means when I copy this cell to the next line here, where C1 is, then the only thing that will change here is that the function, the range will be the same, but the criteria will change to C1. So we can also drag it down. So you eventually calculate this easily because you have closed your range. When you click, you see the criteria is changing. This is C1, this is C2, and this is DE. Now let's look at it and find out what is our sum. You have 400. So that means that your data is clean, and actually the 400 questionnaire that was set out, yes, they answered it all. So we can all look for percentage in this place. Okay, we want to quickly do a snap analysis to your manager. Okay, we can do that. And how do we do that? Just do this. Divided by the total. Don't forget, this is the total. So when you divide it, you have it in what? In decimal. 0.2175. So, and I said, since we are making use of the same total, which is B425, where 400 is, we can also close it. How do you close it? When you highlight B425, you press your function F4 to close it. Press your enter. Okay, when you drag this down, see that it will change, but the only thing that will remain is the total. So how do you turn this to percentage? Highlight all, come to this place and click. You have the percentage. So this is sum already. You can copy this and put here. It give us 1 because it was in decimal. Click what? Your percentage, you have 100. So here we have done what? The cleaning. We have done the frequency. We have done the percentage. It's just a simple analysis. We can also do what we have, the formatting. You highlight this down, come to conditional formatting, and put what? Any of this. Let me use this. Any of this. So here, what can we say here? We can copy this and put, just paste it as a picture. You paste that a picture, you can just use it to write a simple report to your MD, to your line manager. So here, what you need to see here is that the highest percentage of people that patronize us is from B to what? To C2. Why DE is the lowest economic class, which means that this set of people might not have disposable income. Their money might be going to daily expenses or budgeted expenses. That means that for our business, when we are looking for the class to advertise to, when we are looking at the class of people to build our store, that should not be where people that don't have money to patronize or to eat out are. We need to focus on the class of B to C2. This decision can what? Help your company not to waste money or not to have a store in a particular location where you can only have customer when you have an open within 6 months. So this is what I am saying. So can we just open the floor for any question as we look at every other thing? Thank you so much. So with that, I can send in my assignment also. So any question, can we just, so we can solve it one after the other. Please, the floor is open. So somebody asked a question, Ibrahim Babangida, how to use your count if function. So when we are doing the summary, we're going to take you back to what we have done. We don't know whether you've been in the class from the beginning, but we are going to look at the summary and also go back to what we have said in the first place to also and tell you what the functions called. We have count if and count ifs and also count. So the count ifs is just for you to count with a condition, and count ifs is for you to count with several conditions. So somebody in Nnamdi Paul says he doesn't understand what data clean, about clean. Okay, please, sir, I don't understand explanation about clean. Okay, what the clean of data set is when you have your data set. When you have your data set is let me say the result of the question or something you wanted to receive. It's like when you receive, you order something from Jumia. So when you order something from Jumia and what you order is like spoon, but the package was delivered to you, you need to open up and find out what is there. And what you find out there is a phone. Yeah, it's a phone. Yeah, some people said I'm fine with that. But in terms of data analysis, what you received was not what you're supposed to receive. So when we have a data is a response from either people or from a database, or what you go to the street to collect, which you want to use for your business analysis or for your business modeling or decision making. But if your response is not what you're supposed to have, maybe 80% of your response, like female, male in terms of gender. But when you have an open-ended question, maybe you ask a question, you set out the question and ask them your gender, and you did not pre-code it like male, female, so they can pick one. You are giving everybody room to write what they want to. Let me tell you the truth from experience. Some people want to write male and they will write 2 male, 3 male. Some people it might be typographical error, it might be anything error. So at the end of the day, you will find out that your data, some will be correct and some will not be correct. Even some that might be correct might not be the actual thing you're supposed to have. So that is what I was saying in the school of data cleaning, that your text is correct does not mean the data is correct in your data set. So if what you have is not what you're supposed to have, my dear, that data is not correct. Imagine I want to write Henry, and what you have there is N. Yes, Henry, hen, they have meaning, but it is not Henry. What you're supposed to have there is Henry. So that means that N is not correct. You need to look out how to make sure that the data set is correct. So you have to clean that data. Is either you delete it, which is not a good decision. You have to take authority from the owner of that data before you delete it. Some people have deleted the data set and they are sacked from company. So, or if you have seen people that work with NGO, and maybe it takes like 3 days for you to gather that information and you delete it. So that means they have to go back to ask to that village, go back to that place to answer the person the question. So you don't delete that. Is that you find a way to clean that, which from the people you are working with, you know how to find out to clean, because before the study, you already have what we call the matrix. It's called research matrix. what you are expecting, percentage of what you are expecting from these people, from this place, from this location, from this gender, from socio-economic classes. So that is what data class cleaning is when it comes to data cleaning. So, and we also practicalize it with our Excel. I don't know whether we are going to do it when we are doing the summary. So, okay, which other question? Okay, somebody is saying 50% attendance give. Okay, yes, please pay attention to this. All classes are recorded first, and you must have met at least 80% before you can have access to this recording. Please, let's take important note of this. Okay, somebody asks, what if we need to refer back to the class? That is when we have said that the recordings we have 80% of that can be get to you, please. We'll get that. Any other question so we can summarize the class, please? Someone is raising hand. Additional. Oh, at 9:58. Let's use the remaining time to quickly summarize. And the next class is tomorrow. Can come back with your question. Don't forget, as much as you do this is what makes you get better. Okay. Let's go back, and I would like to share my screen again. And let's go back to that. Okay, thank you so much. I'm sharing my entire screen again. So I have with me a data set, and this data set is on a questionnaire. This is the questionnaire. Is QSR Market Study Consumer Questionnaire, June. So I did this for my client last month. Please don't screenshot, don't share. So it's clearly confidential. So actually you can't see a date. So the company is not there. So please, okay, fine. So we said before you will know that this data is clean, you need to do something. So this is how the data is. So this is the raw data. I have so many data here. So this is the one we'll be working with. We work with this questionnaire, this data set. Before you know it, we're going to do what? We're going to deal with it. This is what we're going to be working with. We are not going to, throughout the class, we are not going to change it. We are going to turn this data set to a very reliable information. Okay? So we have this cluster, study cluster. So the fourth thing is to highlight this. Come to your home, go to sort and filter. Or if you are that fast, when you click this, you can just click your Control-Shift-L. Control-Shift-L. You will what? It will bring filter to this. Two ways. Let me do it again. Two ways you can put filter to this. When you click this, come to sort and filter and click filter. Or when you click this, when you highlight this, press Control-Shift-L. There will be a filter on this. So then you can check what you have here. So you see that presently we have Ikeja, Lekki, Sulere, Victoria Island, and Yaba. So we want to look at this. We find that this data set is clean. So eventually we can analyze it. So the same thing happened to this. So when we want to analyze it, okay, that's what we did here. We have this. I will just do it again. Well, let me copy it here. We copy it down here. This is Yaba, this is Victoria Island, this is Sulere, Ikeja, and Lekki phase 1. You understand that the letter have to be consistent before you can do this. Some will not start with capital letter, while some start with big capital with small letter. They have to be the same. So here we want to look at the frequency. So okay, we know already that the questionnaire that was given out is 400. Was 400, sorry. We want to count how many Yaba do you have here. So we use your count if. So Babangida, this is what you use your count if to do. Count if. You use your count if to count with condition. So what do you want to count? The range where your data is. This is where your data is. Where your data is. You click here, press your shift arrow up. Go up, 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 up to the last one. To the last one. Okay. When you go there, you pick that. And then that means it's from A1 to A401. You click what? You use your what? Your comma. So the next thing is asking you here is what is the criteria? The criteria is what do you want to count? That's the meaning. Sorry, what do you want to count? What do you want to count? And what you want to count, the first one is what? Is Yaba. So you click on this Yaba, which is A4929. Close the bracket and press enter. So it's telling us that the number of Yaba we have here is 50. And I said, since we are making use of the same range, you can highlight this and press what? Function F4. You will close it so that when you drag it down, the range will be the same, but only the criteria will change. So when I drag it down, I will have the same. So now when I want to check what is the sum, I use my sum equals to sum, just this of, that's 400. That's to tell me that I have the total 400 back, so there's no problem. So if I want to check the percentage of the people that answer this question, I'll put equals to, use this to divide the total, press this, it gives me 0.125. So, and I want to use the same total. So when I come to my total, which is the B434, I will also close it, which F function, what? Function 4. When I click this, so I can drag this down without no problem. So when I drag it down, it's showing me decimals. But what I wanted to see is percentage. I'm still highlighting it. I will click on my percentage here. So now I have this as my percentage. So, and I said what we are doing today, cleaning and formatting. Okay, now we just go to what? Conditional formatting. Go to your data bar, make use of any one you like here. So you can make use of this. So from here, you have it that 30% of people from Victoria Island, 30% of people in Lekki must visit your QSR. QSR means quick service restaurant. That means people in this environment. So eventually, when you go to this environment, you will see several outlets like Chicken Republic, like Burger King, like Domino's and all that. So you will see it more there. So this thing is simply tells us that that is why what these companies are having it there, because people that stays in this environment have more disposable income. So when you click this, you might decide to copy this. You can decide to paste it as a special what? Paste like a picture. So with this, you can drag it around. You can eventually use it to write a simple report to your line manager to say that, okay, out of this percentage, because it's better to analyze your table with the percentage, that 30% of people from Victoria Island and Lekki always visit the quick service restaurant. So it will help the company to know where to open a new store, to focus on who and where the customers are living, and where to do their promo, where to organize the event for their customers. So this is what we were trying to say. Thank you so much. So we are going to be dropping the assignment very soon. So don't forget the instruction of where to submit your assignment, when to submit your assignment, and if you have any question, we'll get to solve it for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Sylvester, thank you.
Mr. Henry, thank you so much. I really cannot thank you enough. The vision of Scroll Global cannot thank you enough. I want to encourage every one of us to take whatever we have been taught here as serious as possible. And you may want to have this information as well, that this is an NGO that is trying to give back to the society. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that everything we are doing here is people giving back to the society, giving back to the community, giving back to our Nigeria and elsewhere. And I will indulge everybody to please try make sure that we make the best use of all the information we are getting on this platform. I tell you the truth, everybody that will be an instructor in this program, they are the best. So we are not delivering a quack program. Mr. Henry, check his profile, and every other facilitators that will be coming on board. We took time out to get you the best. And if you notice for the program, this training we just had, it was just going straight to the point, because the goal, the vision is to get you equipped, get you to master this, work on yourself, and start earning with this knowledge. That is our goal. We want to see you earning. We want to see you making return from this for yourself, not to give to us, for yourself, and to build as you to build further as you journey in the digital world. So without taking too much of our time, we want to mention this, though I've not shared this with any member of our team before. Okay, let me just keep this. Maybe with time I'm going to relate it with us, because I'm trying to see a situation whereby we can have a recap of this class. You know, it's the class starts by 8 p.m. The meeting hall is open 15 minutes to 8 p.m. So if possible, with your consent, 30 minutes before the program, the class will start, with the consent of our facilitator. If we can have that to do a review of this class, of your assignment, and we are going to sit down and talk about that to ensure that it's not just a passing session. What you had yesterday, put it together, come back, do revision before you start today's lecture, so that at the end of everything, you are going home with something substantial. Please keep in mind, this is a 16 class calendar schedule. So out of 16, we just did one, remaining 15. That's why, Mr. George, please, we may not be able to repeat this class. So you have done the summary, and of course, with time, you are going to catch up, because we still have 15 more classes. If one of 16 is like this, what do you think will happen to you, to your knowledge at the end of the 16th section? So please, I'm encouraging every one of us to sit up and take the best out of this program. Thank you so much. I want to